Welcome to another episode of Behind the Win, where we dive into the minds of industry leaders shaping the future of business. Today, we're joined by Allie Scott, the founder of Allie Scott Hair Studio, one of the most respected boutique salons in Utah. It's not just in the balayage or branding, it's in building a business with purpose, fighting burnout, and leading with heart.
At LSI, we don't just follow trends, we help shape the future. Welcome to Behind the Win, the podcast where we break down the biggest moves in tech, innovation, leadership, and government contracting. Here at LSI, we're bringing you exclusive conversations with the minds behind groundbreaking advancements, disruptive strategies, and industry-defining wins. From retail to tech, defense to government solutions. This is where you get the insights to stay ahead. Let's go behind the win.
Allie, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I know, I'm so excited that you're here. We've been working on this for a bit, so I'm glad that you're sitting in this seat today. So start out, you built one of Utah's most sought after boutique salons, but I know it didn't come without personal cost. What did burnout look like for you? And when did you know something had to change?
Okay, this is a great question. So burnout for me was I was behind the chair working as a hairstylist 6 to 7 days a week. I was working, honestly, like 12 hours would be easy, right? So I was working like 15, 16, 17, 18-hour days, sometimes like 8 a.m. I'd get done like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Like I would work so psycho. I would double, triple, quadruple book. It was insane. And I think that my like hitting point of like, oh my gosh, this is too much, because at the beginning I thought this is success. Like I thought in the hair industry,
busy all the time.
Yes, in the hair industry, I thought, oh, if I'm doing 1 million clients a day, if I am, working all this time and I'm so booked out, I'm booked out forever. Like I thought that was success. But I honestly feel like where I knew, hey, something has got to change was I have a little boy who's 11 now. And at the time it was like, I think I started working pretty crazy when he was 2. And then it was like I worked that crazy for probably about 3 years. And I just like was missing every preschool program. I was missing every doctor's appointment. Like I feel like
not able
even
to be present.
Not at all. And so that's when I was like, okay, I need to make a massive change. And this isn't a life, right? So I hustled and it was crazy. And then it was just when I was missing out on all of these things, I knew something had to change.
Was this working for yourself still or someone else?
So this was actually, I rented a chair. Okay. I rented multiple chairs working somewhere else. So I was working at a different salon and I was booth renting. And so that just means like I rented like 3 chairs because I would be quadruple booked. And I knew that I needed to make a change. And I also needed to make a change in my environment. Being in the hair industry, I felt like there was a lot of, talking bad about each other. And it wasn't the community I wanted either. So it was like, I did not have the time with my family that I wanted to have. I was missing out on everything. And then the second thing was I wanted the community to be very vastly different. And so then I just decided I'm going to remove myself from the situation. And so I moved. I was down about like an hour away. And then I got up and I was like, well, I'm from Bountiful. So I decided, you know what, I'll go back home. My son was about to start kindergarten. And so I was like, you know what, I'll go back home and, raise him there and be by family and kind of get away from that toxic culture. Yeah. It was pretty bad. So I was like, I'm going to go and just do my own thing and stay in my own lane.
And maybe you answered this a little bit too, but what were some of the signs you feel like you ignored at first? Because a lot of us high performers push through until it's too much and we break, right?
Yeah. So I think some of the things that I ignored at first was how much working like a psychopath actually affected my body. So it was like my health wasn't the best. I had gained a ton of weight because I wasn't eating. I wasn't exercising anymore. And so I kind of like ignored those things. But that was the first thing was like weight gain. And then just like my joints were starting to really hurt. And then I had no energy for anything else. So I kind of ignored that there was something, how I was working. Yeah, that how I was working wasn't working.
Yep. What was there a specific moment or conversation besides just in your head compiling you weren't present or, at some of these things with your son that pushed you to make a shift toward balance?
I
Like one big thing, or was it just a lot of little things?
Yeah, no, I feel like it was like a lot of little things, but then there was like one big thing when I had been out of town, and so I was out of town like at these different hair shows because I was like trying to make a name for myself, right?
Yeah.
So I was at these different hair shows, and then I got home, and then my son had come to me and he wanted me to like play with him or something, and was trying to be like, oh, mommy, this and this. And then I literally had gotten home probably like midnight the night before, and it was 7 a.m. and I was going to now my work week, even though I had just gotten back from this big event that I just flew in from. And it was like him coming to me and me being like, sorry, buddy, I've got to go to work. And there was like this certain like moment where he came to me and I was in my bathroom getting ready that I was like, I gotta go. And he like started crying. And I was like, in that moment, I was like, oh, like I'd never heard him have a cry like that. And in that moment, I was like, this is
something more than mom guilt hitting.
Yes. I was like, this is not life. And I don't want to, and I was like, I don't want to keep doing it like this. Cause I'm like, it was all at once of just like, shoot, I just got home from being out of town. He wanted my, attention for 2 seconds. He was 2 years old, or maybe he was 3. And I was like, I gotta go. And I just knew my work week that I wouldn't see him for another week. And he like did this cry, and I will always remember it. And I was like,
sure,
I can't live like this.
So what was your next step? What'd you do to start making that change?
Okay, so that's when I really started going and investing a lot more into my extension education. And so I had seen something online, and I really like resonated with like this mom guilt of almost like, you're working super hard. So I decided to learn a little bit more of a higher end methods. And I learned and I like invested in my education so that I could actually give high performance, high end hair extensions so that I could take less clients and still be able to make the same, if not more.
So that's a lot of the business aspects that you would bring into it.
Yep.
That maybe some hairstylists and folks today in any industry don't get that education.
Yep, exactly. So that was a big thing. I was like, I wanted to invest in some education for myself, but I just didn't because I was like, would make excuses of, oh, it's too much money, or I don't have time to go and like learn how to do like this higher end extension education. Like I would make excuses, but then in like that moment, I was like, nope, I need to make a change. I need to be present with my family. I need to be present with my son more than just, I can see you for 15 minutes, maybe once a week.
Yep, absolutely. So, and maybe this is a good segue, but let's talk about the warrior framework you've embraced. How did that philosophy shape the way you show up in business and life today?
Yeah. So I feel like when I started learning how to do, more extensions and stuff, and I also kind of really got into self-development. And so that framework came with, hey, if you want to like thrive in business, then you also need to be thriving like in your body. You need to be thriving in like your health, like your body and your health. You need to be thriving in your relationships, your spirituality, all these things. And so I was like, so that all came to be because I then was like, what I was doing, I was completely broken. Okay. Like, so every aspect of my life, everything was just work. And I just knew I was tired. I was overwhelmed. It was just too much. So I started just by like focusing on like my relationships. And so it was like just where I was spending maybe 15 minutes in a hole with my son over a week. I was like just doing like little things, little like love deposits for him every single day to also let him know like I'm here, and like making sure I was going on like weekly date nights. And then the biggest thing was really my body and my physical body, because I'm on my feet all day. I needed to start actually like fueling that and making that like a priority because it's something that feeds what I do.
Yep.
And so it was that framework was, hey, have a little bit of balance and not so all or nothing. And so I just started like slowly incorporating like every single day, I'm going to make sure that I'm fueling my body and moving it just a little bit. And then it's like every single day, I'm going to make sure that I'm doing something for my son and for my husband. And then I started growing my relationship. So that framework was like really important to me. That's more of like that self-development to help also my business. It all like coincide with each other.
Yep. So, and I love the warrior because I started doing this with you. I don't know how long ago, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it even in my LinkedIn because and Allie does, for those who don't know, she does these monthly ones where you can join this kind of accountability group about it. You teach us about those 4 different areas.
Yeah.
And I would agree, because I think when I got this position, when I went from COO to CEO, I remember you saying to me, people think I'm a robot, like, because I have to do this thing. And I thought, that's what I have to do to maximize time, right? Is that, you do this thing like your core 4 before you're out the door in the mornings. And I am not always perfect at it. I watch yours every day, because I'm like, I want to be so great at it, because you are. And to me, I'm like, take people saying you're a robot as a compliment. Like, I'm consistent. I show up, I'm there, and you know what I mean? But it is true, because you do lose that, not in this, that we care about it for any other reasons other than health, right? But you lose the weight, you're healthy. I can play more. I'm a 47-year-old that has a 4-year-old is my youngest. Like, there's a lot of things that I was like, I love about this. And I've even tried to get my team to do it in different things, but I love that you let anyone join, right? You're welcoming to anyone. It's not just your salon and your salon girls, but we've had men in there or random people, so I love it. But how do you translate that mindset to your team? Like, salon culture can be, you said, toxic, right?
Right.
It's also high energy, but also high pressure.
Yep.
So how do you create a grounded, intentional environment with your team?
So I always think it starts with you. So I feel like you can't teach anybody something you don't do. You can't lead anybody with something that you don't do. So it always just starts with you. So that's where it's like, I make sure that I've got these practices that I do every single day. I make sure that I try to stay as balanced as possible every single day, so that other people can see it as an example and be like, oh, what is she doing? And then I can go and I can lead with that. And then I can also explain and show, I always say there's a reason behind everything. Yeah. We don't do anything just to do it, like, usually, but there's a purpose, and everything's very purposeful. So I feel like, being that example, that it's like, hey, look where I was, look where I am. And also, how many of us feel like we are burnt out sometimes? A lot of us. How many of us feel this certain way? A lot of us. Okay, well, we should balance things, because I feel like, and I don't know, maybe that word is like overused, but I'm like, but if we can just do like these just daily little things, that'll help. But it just always starts, I feel like, as a leader, it starts with you. And then I feel like then that energy is almost a little contagious of like, wait, you've got like you're like doing clients and you're having fun, or, hey, you're like still being able to do all these different things. How can you get everything done? And like, how can you, still go and work out early in the morning and then go to work? It's like, no. And it excites me to do that. But I feel like it starts with me, and it starts with my attitude about things. And then I feel like that's a little bit of a contagious energy. Yep. And yeah, it always goes down to, leading by example.
So give listeners a little bit of day in the life, because I want you to tell them how you kind of check your 4 areas, 2 in each. So you wake up, and I know Allie gets up at like 5 or 5:30 every morning.
I am an early riser. I don't necessarily love being a morning person, but maybe I shouldn't say that. I always try to trick my brain sometimes. I'm like, no, I enjoy it. But yeah, so what I typically do, so I wake up early. I'll wake up, I go to the gym. So I have 8 different things that I do every day. So within my body aspect or my health, I always will do some type of fitness and fuel. So that's either going to the gym, but sometimes it's walking. Sometimes it could be stretching, yoga. But I like to go to the gym. So it's going to the gym, and then it's fueling my body. And then that usually for me is like taking my supplements. Yep. And then something else that I do is my like spirituality. That's like also really important to me. And so for me, what I like to do, I meditate, and then I journal every single day. That is something that I do. And I do that in the morning as well. And then another thing that I do, so it's like I wake up, I go to the gym, I come home, I take my supplements. So I got like my body out of the way. And then I've got like my spirituality. That's where I go and do that, where I do a meditation. And then I will also do some type of journaling. And I used to do like guided meditations in the shower. Just like I would habit stack stuff that I would already do in my morning routine. And then I also will always do, for my relationships with my husband and my son, I always will write them. I write my little boy like a sticky note, and I just leave it by him when he's sleeping. Just like a little note.
So when he wakes up, he sees it.
So when he wakes up, he sees, he has like a little love note. And then I always—
And does he love those? Has he grown accustomed to those?
He's grown accustomed to them because, again, he's 11. I've been doing this since he was like 3. So it used to be a little Post-it note. But then he's like, will you write me letters? So then I don't have Post-it notes anymore because I need to write him a letter.
Yeah.
So he loves them. And when I go out of town, I'll make sure I do them ahead of time and I'll leave them with my sitters and stuff because he loves them. He loves getting he has like a little place where he keeps all of his notes. And then he also will write them to me too if he ever knows that, oh, I'm having a hard time. It's kind of fun.
I love that.
So I'll do like daily deposits and then I always will send like a message to my husband. And then, so I'll do those to those two. And then I also will always learn something and teach something. So I think, especially being a leader, it's important to, take in information and then also teach something. So whenever I'm learning something, I usually will always do an audiobook or a podcast. I like audiobooks a lot. And then I'll just do that while I'm getting ready. Again, just habit stack.
Yep.
It's not like I have to wake up super crazy early because I've got to spend so much time on this. I just habit stack this. And then whenever I'm learning something, it's usually like I'll do it on live video or like I have meetings with my girls every single morning and I'll usually teach them something while I'm doing it there.
And let's to stop where that you're teaching your girls is you also incorporate, which is not typical in a salon. Tell them some of the meetings, one-on-ones, things that you do that we do here in corporate world, right? That you've married that up.
Yes. Okay. So this is the biggest thing I never went to business school, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I've done a lot of different business classes and stuff and not typically with hairstylists, usually with people that just, own businesses, right? And that's what I realized is in the beauty industry, sometimes we always think, oh, we have to do things so differently. And I'm like, we don't. It's still a business. At the end of the day, we still have to pay our taxes. You still have to do all the things. Like, it's a business. And so I have made sure that we run it as such. So we communicate a lot. It is kind of a lot, but it also makes room so that if there's ever anything anybody has to add or they have any issues for it, they have daily time to come to us and talk about it. But we do, so we do monthly in-person meetings. Those ones are a lot bigger, but we do them every single week. So we'll have them on Zoom.
Staff meeting, your team meeting.
Team meetings every single week. And the biggest thing too is that I always will say whatever I need to say. And I always will individually add, hey, is there anything that you guys have to add? Always, 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 always giving other people the chance to talk. That's like what we do on Mondays, but then we also do daily meetings. So before we start our day, we have a little team huddle and we'll just be like, hey, this is what the day looks like. This is where the assistants are. And then I always will ask, okay, does anybody have anything from yesterday that you saw that we need to do better on today? Or anything that you saw that we did amazing at that you want us to keep doing?
This is amazing because in our world, right, and especially my background came from IT world. I'm in government contracting now, totally different, but we call those daily stand-ups, right? So I think that it's great because you're fostering this environment for continuous improvement. It's not micromanaging, it's check-ins, right? So it's daily stand-ups. They're 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's checking in, one-on-one coachings, stuff like that. So I love that you do this.
Yeah, I love it. And then we have our one-on-ones just once a month. And then it's really cool.
And that's like you and one of your
just me
stylists.
and one of my stylists. Like it's just the two of us. And and because of course, like people also, they have goals and stuff. So I always make sure that they're on track for that. Are you on track, off track? What do we need to adjust? And also just if you have anything to add that you just want to bring up to me, that's a great space for it.
What do you think on the word stuff? Because you led my team when I tried to bring my team into it, right? Because I'm like, I love it. This is what I do. I want to bring you guys into it. I felt like they did okay. But for some people, do you feel like you push any of that onto your girls or you leave it for them to kind of decide? Because I feel like to me, at some points I was feeling that maybe they thought I was trying to push them past what they could. Because some people are in that mindset, like, I can't do one more thing today, but you're like, really, if you do this help doing these 8 things, things I promised before 8:00 is helping you do.
Yeah. So it's an invitation, never like
no obligation.
Never an obligation. It's always an invitation. And then sometimes when somebody does come with an issue of something, it's like, well, if we do these certain steps, this can help with that. So these are solutions for them. But I also am like, yeah, these are solutions that we can also help. Oh, you're having a hard time with your health. Okay, cool. Let's do health action things every single day. Or you're having a hard time with like getting new clients for a business with business. Okay, cool. These are the action steps. And they're never, here's the thing is like.
They've been proven over and over.
They've been proven over and over. The only thing that is like and I totally understand ebbs and flows of like, oh, I'm in the season of like waking up early and like hitting the gym. I'm in the season of my body needs more rest. Neither one is good or bad, but it's just consciously knowing which one you're choosing and make sure that it's helping you, not hurting you.
Yeah.
But it's always an invitation, never an obligation.
Do you feel, and you document a lot of this,
yes,
which I love. And so do you ever feel like people are judging you for that? Or do you feel, because to me, I love it because to me, it's like accountability. I know you're doing it. And that's what we learn in the program, right? Is like you're posting. I'm not posting to show you I did a 45-minute bike ride.
No.
I'm posting because I'm going to show you that I'm going to show up every single day.
Yes. So that's my accountability. So for me, I'm a lot of people's accountability, but I also am like, well, who's my accountability? Because I also feel like it's important for me to have accountability. And I like will post a lot on social because that's my accountability. And then it's so cool, like the DMs and stuff too, that people will be like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. You've been doing this for years. And it's like just showing that consistency. Because I also feel like it's important to show that even when things are hard or maybe going hard in your life too, that you still like are showing up and that it's not an overnight thing. Like you just still put in a little bit of work every single day and then you can get some big results in a couple of years.
So, and maybe this is twofold. One is, do you ever have a bad day where you don't hit those? I want to know. But two is, and are you okay talking a little bit about some of your health issues that really living this life has helped?
Absolutely. Okay. Number one, I have bad days literally constantly all of the time. And that's where I'm also saying like, sometimes I know what helps my body is getting more rest. And I literally will count that because I know that's actually something that I need.
Yep.
And so I'm like, no, this is actually like helping me, not hurting me. It would actually probably hurt me more to wake up, not get as much rest and go hit the gym. So like that took me a long time to also understand that there's sometimes rest is just as important as exercise too. Yep. So that's where now if I was just only ever doing that,
then it's a problem.
Then that's like an excuse. But I do feel like there's going to be days like if I wake up and I've got a little bit of a headache and I go and I rest for an extra hour and then it's gone and I'm like, okay, that was actually helpful, not hurtful. So
and you don't beat yourself up about it.
No, I don't. So I just try to get really in tune with my body and stay away from the noise and just know whatever is best. I need to do whatever is best for me. So it's like a little bit like I'm not necessarily looking for like I just feel like once you actually know your body a lot more, you're in tune with it. Self-discipline, like that works. But with my health stuff, holy crap, this is a whole other thing.
Yeah, I love your journey on this. So.
Okay, let me give some backstory. So I was like diagnosed with like extremely severe narcolepsy. Okay. So very, very severe. And so
how did you know you had this to go get diagnosed?
Okay. This is also like this all kind of goes together. So I knew that I had it. So I was working like a psychopath. And also like even when I was in junior high and high school, and even when I was before that, I've always been an athlete. I always cheered. I always was going like I even still work. I worked at a gymnastics gym. And so I was always so busy. Like I've always had a lot on my plate. So I've always, whenever I stopped, I would fall asleep. So I just assumed my whole life that I would just fall asleep because I was tired because I was busy. So it wasn't until I completely changed my work schedule and I completely changed and I had balance. I was getting 8 hours of rest a night. And then I was like getting to the gym and I was like eating healthier. And then I was only taking 2 clients a day compared to taking 12 clients a day. Like I completely drastically changed my life to have more balance. And I still was like, I still cannot stay awake. This is crazy. So my sister's a PA and the biggest thing is I missed every holiday. If I wasn't working, I was there sleeping. So it's like, I missed every freaking holiday. So my sister told my husband, so she's a PA. She's like, I wonder, she would always ask me all these questions because I've been this way since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So she was asking and she told my husband, I wonder if she has narcolepsy. And so then we went and my husband's like, oh, I'm sure.
Now that you said it.
Now that you said that. So it wasn't until my life got more balanced until
you could see it.
We saw like, oh no, this is an issue. This isn't because I'm so tired, which also made me believe, oh, I was like working all the time and I enjoyed it because I was so stimulated. And so then I just like would stay awake. So this helped me a ton because I was able to focus a lot every single day, like on my body. I feel fantastic now. Like my health is completely transformed.
there were times you couldn't drive, right? That
Oh
you
yeah.
said,
Like I haven't been a driver for years and years and years. And like even now, even today, I was like, oh, I'm good. I can drive to here. But my husband is still like a little protective. So he's like, I'll still just drop you off just to be safe. I was like, okay. But like I didn't drive for years because like even 5 minutes I couldn't drive. And so it was like I would work or even like sitting and holding a conversation.
Yeah.
I would have had to like pop a stimulant and like try really hard to concentrate. But no, I've literally,
That's amazing.
I'm telling you, my health has like improved so much. And like, I've just worked on it every single day and like doing daily things. I like had goals or like had different things I would do. And it honestly helped me. But yeah, no, I feel freaking fantastic now.
That's amazing. What daily rituals or non-negotiables help you keep centered when things get chaotic? And is it just sticking to the 8 or is there something else that you do outside of that too?
Yeah. So I feel like, especially when things get super chaotic and when things get like a lot, like I feel like I'm in a little bit of a season. Like I feel like I have changes happening in like all of us business owners, we will always have changes inside or things that we're doing. I've got like a big filming thing this next weekend for some education. So there's like a lot on my plate right now. And there's sometimes where it's like, whoa, I feel like system overload. And so things that I really like to do is I like to kind of, I'm telling you, I really, maybe this is my hippie side coming out, which I just didn't know I had, but I like to also take a step back and I will do a lot more like calming things.
Mm-hmm.
I realize how much like affirmations to yourself help when I'm having really hard seasons. So like even right now, I feel like I'm maybe not in like the easiest season. I feel like I've got a lot of pressure right now. I've got changes. And so like in my bathroom, I have all of these different affirmations and these different things that I tell myself. I have them all in my mirror. And I look at them every single day and I repeat them to myself. And it could sound so cheesy, but it helps me. But I'm like looking in the mirror and I'm like, okay, you are super strong and you are so resilient. And I almost like self-talk myself to also being like, also you have a strong body. You are awake. You are like, I almost like I say these things to myself, these like mantras to myself. And that's what helps me through a hard season is how I speak to myself and how I speak is huge to me.
Yep.
How I speak to myself and when I'm talking to others, how I speak about myself, that's really big. That gives me that confidence.
Agreed. And I bring this up a lot. People laugh with my therapist, right? Is that she's always saying like, you are the one that talks the worst about yourself to yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. And I will do it in like the form of humor sometimes as well that, you know, I do it, but it is true. It's like, you have to pep talk yourself. When I have like big travel weeks or something, I'm like, okay, you can do this, but it is how we speak to ourselves is what we manifest is what comes out.
I almost say it's like brainwashing yourself a little bit.
And I'm here for it. Yeah.
And I'm so here for it because you know what? When I'm like, have some moments where I'm like, I can't keep going. I just want to like crawl in a hole. I feel like I have so much pressure. Or I have so much going on. I really do. I like look in the mirror and I'll like have in hard moments, I'll have like little reminders, but I'll like tell myself like, no, you're strong and you're resilient and you can get past anything.
And I do think you do a great job because I mean, you were one of the first guests I wanted on here, right? And some would say, what does the beauty industry have to do with, we're in government contracting, right? But our podcast is about anyone who has wins. And I tell people all the time that ask like, your salon is like the Chick-fil-A of salons, right? You're going to make sure the customer service, the consistency you're going to get every time you come there, the way you're going to feel when you leave, right? Mm-hmm. You go through a Chick-fil-A drive-through and you're like, they're so nice and they're my friends and I love it, you know? So I think you've accomplished that for sure.
Oh, thank you.
Investing in yourself is time, money, energy, right? And can feel selfish to some women, not to me. I don't, but why do you believe it's essential to pour into your own growth first? And tell a little bit about this too, because I love the concept that you pay the same price, schedule your appointment, you do the same thing that I do as a client at your salon.
Yeah. So as you also touched on about some people could think that it's selfish because that's like something that I have had to like debunk for my brain because I thought that, oh my gosh, I'm so selfish I always thought everything for everybody else and you leave yourself for the last. Like I always thought that like, oh my gosh, I'm selfish if I put myself first or I'm selfish if I do this. But what's insane is what I realized is if you do not fill your cup first, you cannot fill anybody else's.
So true.
And it's like, especially because I work with women every single day. I mentor other salon owners. I mentor my team. And then also our beautiful clients that come into the salon. If I don't fill my cup first, well, then I'm actually doing everybody else a disservice. So that's where I'm like, no, you've got to invest in yourself first. And exactly as you said too. So not only do you need to invest yourself first, but also I do believe whatever you are. So for me, I sell something, right? I sell hair extensions. So I also do believe that whole leading by example, you need to also make sure that you've got to practice what you preach. So for me, my hair appointment's on Wednesday. So like the same exact thing. So I'll block off my schedule. I'll take time off of work, just like we ask our guests to do. And then I'll put myself on the books. I am a full paying client, all of the things and I also get my services done just like anybody else would, because I also can't ever expect or ask anybody to do what I wouldn't do. I'm really big on leading by example, obviously. And that's even being a guest inside of my salon, because I also want to make sure when I'm talking and I'm saying, hey, this is the experience we give and this we give. Well, I know that from experience, not just because I say it, but because I also am a paying client at my salon.
And it's great because we do a lot of different things here at LSI, but when we go through a process, it's funny because we'll struggle when we do it internally and we're like, we do this. We need to like practice what we do.
Yeah.
So it'll be on a huge proposal for a government contract. And we do these for big clients, large clients in the US. And when we're doing it, we're all struggling. We need to like you said, practice what we preach, do what we have others do.
Absolutely. So I'm like, when you know that and when you're comfortable in that, whether that is like, for me, a big thing is, okay, cool. If we're going to be offering a luxury service and if it is priced actually business price, like with math and numbers instead of just based on feelings and, oh, what's the person down the street charging? Oh, cool. Let's do that. But when I actually know what that is, and then I'm a client that also pays that, I'm so confident in being like, this is what this is.
And you're great because it's been a while. I mean, I'll be with you guys 3 years. I think it's this end of this summer. But you, on your consultations, right, you don't apologize for being expensive or luxury. You're like, I know what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. And, and it is paying a premium price. But yes, that's my thing is I get it. It's consistent. I know what I'm going to get every time. I love it there. I love all the girls. So it's kind of that whole user experience that they get.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think too, so as you said, but being upfront about it, and I can be upfront about it also with confidence because, again, I know the value of it because I'm also a recipient of that.
Yep. What's one recent personal or professional investment you've made that completely shifted your mindset or capacity?
Oh my gosh, recently, actually. So I recently invested. So I'm actually coming out with my own education for hairstylists and salon owners. So I've been mentoring other salon owners. I've been doing a lot of one-on-one. I've taken a lot of extension, different classes. But I have invested in this, a business coach, and they've got like a media production team. They're flying out to Utah just this weekend.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I'm like literally dying. And that was the most I have ever. And we are coming out with one other thing. I don't even talk about this. I'm going to talk about this on your podcast.
Yes, I love it.
We're also doing a CRM for salons.
That's great.
So
I saw you post something about a CRM. We use a CRM tool, right? This is, again, you merging these two worlds.
Yes.
That you guys are salesmen, right?
Yes.
In what you also have a skill that you're doing. But yeah, our folks and our salesmen, they live and breathe. We do by that CRM. It gives you and what I know, we've had talks about this, is you're very data driven, right? I like data decision making too.
Yes.
Like data driven decision making is what it doesn't mean we don't bring compassion or we don't bring thought leadership into the decisions that we make, but I need the data there. And, those are some of the easiest conversations that you can have.
Yeah. So that's something else that we are creating.
Because right now you guys have most salons have a scheduling platform or something.
Yep, we have a scheduling platform, but because of everything that we do and we run things like as a business, I am using 5 different softwares currently just to run what we're running. And so essentially we're putting all of that into one.
Combine it.
Yep, we're combining everything into one. So it is like the most I have ever invested in myself and my business.
That's amazing.
But that was, you have to look at the big picture. And that was an investment, but that was like investing in my future. Because right now, even like with my salon owner, so I'm recording all this coursework, but right now that's going to be so nice that I can also reach more salon owners, because right now I can't reach as many because of my time is so limited, because because I do one-on-ones. But also at the end of the day, let me tell you, I actually really freaking love doing hair. I love being behind the chair. And I do think that there's other talents that can also really impact my industry. But I also I love
Like
doing
doing what
hair.
you do.
I love doing what I do. So I'm going to kind of streamline a few things so that people can still get that knowledge. And it won't have to be so hands-on for every tiny little detail for people to learn knowledge from me, and even different artists. And then, I can help other artists. I can help other salons. And I can also be in my happy space, and I can essentially still have everything I want to have and do hair.
I think it's
love doing
amazing.
hair.
At your level, it's what you do is replicate, right? And if you're not going to open another salon and there's not enough of your time to keep replicating that, I think that the micro trainings or trainings and educate, that's the best ways to do that. So amazing. Congrats.
Thank you.
Looking back, what's the real win for you? Not the Instagram moment, but the one that felt like deep internal progress.
That is going to be my weekends with my family. That is going to be, because I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday behind the chair. Mondays and Fridays, I'm in meetings and stuff and doing admin stuff, but I'm still done by 6 p.m. So that would be that, like,
You've protected that time.
I've protected that time. That's like yesterday I was just swimming with my son, and then we went out, me and my son and my husband, we went out to dinner. And like Saturday, that's the same thing. Like, it is what I worked so hard for, to be able to still live a life where we swam and we went to a nice restaurant for dinner because it was a Sunday. Like, we still did those things, and I was in the moment with that. And I also just knew, okay, cool, I have a crazy week ahead of me, but I also know I have this time with them and just to be in it. And that, like, for me is like everything. When I spend time with my family and it's so intentional, it's like, I love that. There's two parts to it. So there's that. The second part is like the artists that have worked with me for so long, seeing them progress in life, even just seeing them upgrade their car, or let's say that they get, they upgrade where they live, or I see that they also get a better life. Like, that for me too is like, oh, what we are doing is so worth it. And like all the time and energy and the big ideas and the big dreams, like, it's so worth it to see everybody kind of, I always want people to be better than where I met them. Like, have them be better than how I met them. And whether that be like they have better health, they have more balance with their family, maybe they have a bigger income, whatever that might be. I always want to leave people a little better than how I found them.
That's great. For any women listening right now who feels stuck, stretched thin, or unsure of what's next, what would you say to her?
I like to tell myself, one foot in front of the other. And I would say, especially if you feel stuck, writing down, like, have 5 minutes to just kind of stop, get in your body, do a little self audit. Okay, where am I feeling stuck? Is it like my feet that I feel like I can't move? Is it my heart that I feel like there's something going with that? Is it my brain that I feel overwhelmed? What is it that I'm feeling that way? Like, take a step back and really get clear on what that is, write that down. And then who do I need to ask for help to move through it? Or you can do it yourself, but I also feel like always asking other people for help and like reaching out to other people. I know for me, like, I do really well. I always have a mentor around me. I always have like a team of people around me, because that also helps fuel me to keep on going. But I would definitely do a self audit to get clear on what it is that you need help with, and then how can that help?
So if they're interested in joining part of the sorority program or being in your monthly accountability, how would what's the best way for them to find you, get in contact?
Just go to alliescott.com, and then they can just go from there. It's just a button. You can click, subscribe, boom.
Okay.
It's easy.
What, same thing about if they want an appointment?
So alliescotthairstudio.com, that is our salon Instagram. That's our salon website. Also, you can find us on Instagram at Allie Scott Hair Studio. But even sometimes I feel like jumping in, sometimes it can give motivation by just watching it every day. My personal Instagram is at Hair Artist Allie, and I will post consistently. And sometimes some people just like to watch that, and that helps them. And you can even start by just first like watching.
Yep. And in this day and age, I think in the different age generations, for sure, right? They're watching it. My sons, I have them all different ages, and they're they're watching it on YouTube. They're researching it for a few months or weeks before they dive in. So I think that's great advice. One thing you didn't touch on or we didn't get to is, and I think it's a big deal, and maybe you're sick of talking about it after a year, but you just really expanded and upgraded. To talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we you're talking about like going upstairs?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That also was such an investment. That was like a leap of faith. That's where it's like sometimes you've got to also be super crystal clear on where you're going to take these leaps. So yeah, so what Sarah's talking about, we used to be downstairs. So we started our salon, 5 chairs, 1,000 square feet. It was just supposed to be me, one other artist, and an assistant. Because what I was saying at the beginning, how I wanted to be in my own lane and I wanted to be away from the toxicity. I was like essentially making a big glorified salon suite where I was like, I'm doing my own thing. Then we had 16 of us in the 1,000 square feet. So we were bursting out of the seams, to say the least. But our upstairs became available. So we actually jumped from downstairs to upstairs. So from 1,000 square feet, to 4,000 square feet. We still have, so we only use probably about 2,700 square feet of it. The other half I do for education stuff. I have a few offices because I haven't been able to drive and stuff because of my narcolepsy. I have like my massage therapist that comes to me. I've got my lash girl that comes to me. So I kind of made it. I'm very good about making things work. But that was a huge leap of like, okay, because now we've got 11 chairs and I never necessarily wanted a large salon. I wanted that small boutique, a small tight knit group. But I do feel like, we had 16 of us in 1,000 square feet. And so when we decided to move up, it was actually a huge leap of faith. But it wasn't even that. I think that the thing that was really hard was, we still had the same amount of people, the same amount of income, but our expenses got a lot higher. So that's where it's just like, okay, but why I had to do it is because I had to think of not just about myself.
Yep.
So I had to think about my other artists that I was holding back because we had no space for them to grow. So I'm like, okay, even though right now it's not like we're moving upstairs and then all of a sudden we're going to be having
completely
so much
full.
more clients and so much, like everybody, it was just, hey, it was almost like when I decided to even open my salon to begin with, where it was like I was renting a couple chairs and then I went to my lease downstairs and that like was a lot more expenses, but not like a bunch more income. So I had to have that same mindset of like, I'm making that big jump again in expenses and it will also come, but I also have to think not just of myself and also remember how many people are being held back because they don't have a chair to work in. And so it will come eventually. And it's been so awesome to see the artists that I have and be able to see them actually flourish and grow. That's cool. That is like another thing that's like, that gives me a little bit of a high.
Level. Yeah. And it's beautiful. I love the new salon and it's in the same place, but it's
just upstairs.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. Last question is we do a book club here at LSI. Mm-hmm. So I know that you listen and read a lot too. What's one of your favorite books?
The Let Them Theory from Mel Robbins.
We just finished that here at LSI. That was our book that we just did with, and we have all our remote people. We meet once a month and talk about it. But yeah, I loved that. And I think our next one is one that you recommended, Mountain is High.
The Mountain is You.
Yes, The Mountain is You. Yep. So that's going to be our next one. But what did you love about the Let Them Theory?
That was so relatable, I think, too. Like, I think what I loved so much about the Let Them Theory was just really allowing people to be them and not allow it to affect you. Yeah. And like, just,
but none of it's rocket science, right? When she says it, you're like, yeah, of course.
And I like
but getting reminded.
Yes. And I like the examples that she gives where it's just like, no, like let them do that and then let you do your thing.
Yeah.
And just know that's okay.
Yep.
You don't need to be so hot and bothered over it. It's so simple.
The school dance and the boy was hit right at home because I remember my oldest being like, that it was that he went with his football team and they were still planned out and a mom took over and we knew in pictures. And then my second was like, well, I don't know. We're going to maybe like hit up a taco stand. And I'm like, in your prom dresses, same thing. But I was like, who cares? You get,
exactly. Who cares? So I love that one. I love The Mountain is You. And another one that's a good read is Think and Grow Rich.
Ooh.
I like that one. That one's an old book.
Okay.
But I feel like that's a really good, just like mindset too. Like they're all kind of about mindset, but I like that one. That one's old. But I like that it just is really about like your mindset with things.
I love it. Do you read any fictional? Okay. I know. I do. And I love so anytime I give someone a book, I have to be like, I'm like, this isn't just like fantasy or vampires, but yes. So I was curious, but I love it. Allie, thank you for showing up today with honesty, heart, and so many powerful takeaways. Your story is a reminder that success isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things and the right energy with the right people. So thank you for coming today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.